Hello fellow anime lovers, in today's video we're counting down the top anime where enemies becomes lover. If you are new to this channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button for more anime content like this. So without further ado, let's get started. Never make a deal with a wet goddess you've only just met. That's a lesson Ryosuke Kaga learns the hard way when he foolishly agrees to let Lasarari Stole use some of his essence to stay in this world. Because despite her smoking hot appearance, Lasara is actually a Shinigami, a goddess of death. However, she doesn't steal years off his life like any decent Shinigami would do. Oh no, instead she sucks him dry of something much more perverse by leeching off his lecherous spirit and draining his ability to enjoy the things that teenage boys normally spend most of their time thinking about. And now that he's been de-debased and de-debauched by her undirty trick, the poor regenerated degenerate's only hope of getting his licentiousness renewed is to join the Queen of Mental Clean on her quest, since when she leaves our mortal plane he regains his normal immorality. But the termination of the probation of his reprobation isn't guaranteed, because goddesses of death can be really harsh mistresses, and it's going to be anything but easy to go back to being sleazy. Running into your new stepsister in the bathroom is not the best way to make a good first impression, which Basara Taoju learns the hard way. When his father suddenly brings home two beautiful girls and introduces them as his new siblings, he has no choice but to accept into his family the Neru's sisters, busty Redeed Mio and petite silver-haired Maria. But when these seemingly normal girls reveal themselves as demons, Mio, the former demon lord's only daughter, and Maria, her trusted succubus servant Basara, is forced to reveal himself as a former member of a clan of heroes, sworn enemies of the demons. However, having begun to care for his new sisters, Basara instead decides to protect them with his powers and forms a master-servant contract with Mio to keep watch over her. With the heroes observing his every move and the constant threat of hostile demons, Basara has to do the impossible to protect his new family members. Moreover, the protector himself is hiding his own dark secret that still haunts him to this day. Louise Françoise Leblanc de la Valliere is a self-absorbed mage in a world of wands, cloaks, and royalty. Although she studies at Tristan Academy, a prestigious school for magicians, she has a major problem. Louise is unable to cast magic properly, earning her the nickname of Louise the Zero from her classmates. When the first-year students are required to perform a summoning ritual, Louise's summoning results in a catastrophic explosion. Everyone deems this to be yet another failure, but when the smoke clears, a boy named Sato Haraga appears. Now Louise is familiar, Sato is treated as a slave, forced to clean her clothes and eat off the ground. But when an unfamiliar brand is found etched on Sato's hand from the summoning ritual, it is believed to be the mark of a powerful familiar named Gandalf. Wild, adventurous, and explosive, Zero no Tsukema follows Sato as he comes to terms with his new life, and as Louise proves that there is more to her than her nickname suggests. On the floating continent of Neo Verona, the Montague family slaughters the entire Capulet family and seizes control of the kingdom. The true heir to the throne, Juliette Fiammata Esto Capulet, manages to escape the onslaught and is hidden away by loyalists for 14 years with hope that she may one day overthrow the cruel Montague regime. Despite having forgotten the murder of her entire family, Juliette now secretly protects the oppressed citizens of Neo Verona as a vigilante called the Red Whirlwind. During one of her escapades she meets Romeo Candorabanto Montague, the kind and selfless son of the tyrannical Prince Laertes Montague, and without knowledge of each other's background, they both fall in love at first sight. Unfortunately, however, their destiny is a cursed one. Not only does each of the two families wish to obliterate the other, but an ancient secret hidden beneath Neo Verona also threatens their undying love for each other. Will they be able to defy the stars, or is this truly a love that can never be? Raku Ichiju, a first-year student at Banyari High School, is the sole heir to an intimidating Yakuza family. 10 years ago, Raku made a promise to his childhood friend. Now, all he has to go on is a pendant with a lock, which can only be unlocked with the key which the girl took with her when they parted. Now, years later, Raku has grown into a typical teenager, and all he wants is to remain as uninvolved in his Yakuza background as possible while spending his school days alongside his middle school crush Kasaki on Idara. However, when the American Beehive gang invades his family's turf, Raku's idyllic romantic dreams are sent for a toss as he is dragged into a frustrating conflict. Raku is to pretend that he is in a romantic relationship with Chidage Kirasaki, the beautiful daughter of the Beehive's chief, so as to reduce the friction between the two groups. Unfortunately, reality could not be farther from this whopping lie. Raku and Chidage fall in hate at first sight, as the girl is convinced he is a pathetic pushover, and in Raku's eyes, Chidage is about as attractive as a savage gorilla. Nisekoi follows the daily antics of this mismatched couple who have been forced to get along for the sake of maintaining the city's peace. With many more girls popping up his life, all involved with Raku's past somehow, his search for the girl who holds his heart and his promise leads him in more unexpected directions than he expects. Kazuma Yagami is a user of Fuijutsu, the ability to control the wind. He returns to his old home, the noble Kanagi household, after being banished 4 years ago for his inability to control fire and his subsequent defeat in a duel at the hands of his younger cousin, Ayano Kanagi. Returning after such a brutal exile already gives rise to many conflicts, but to make matters worse, several Kanagi family members have recently been murdered with Fuijutsu. This leads the Kanagi family, including the hot-headed Ayano, to suspect Kazuma as the culprit. Now, Kazuma must not only clear his name, but also aid the family he shares a mutual hatred with, in order to discover the true identity of the killer. Night Raid is the covert assassination branch of the Revolutionary Army, an uprising assembled to overthrow Prime Minister Honest, whose avarice and greed for power has led him to take advantage of the child emperor's inexperience. Without a strong and benevolent leader, the rest of the nation is left to drown in poverty, strife, and ruin. Though the Night Raid members are all experienced killers, they understand that taking lives is far from commendable and that they will likely face retribution as they mercilessly eliminate anyone who stands in the revolution's way. This merry band of assassins' newest member is Tatsumi, a naive boy from a remote village who had embarked on a journey to help his impoverished hometown and was won over by not only Night Raid's ideals but also their resolve. A Kame ga Kill follows Tatsumi as he fights the Empire and comes face to face with powerful weapons, enemy assassins, challenges to his own morals and values, and ultimately, what it truly means to be an assassin with a cause. 30 years ago, the Eurasian continent was devastated by a supermassive spatial quake, a phenomenon involving space vibrations of unknown origin, resulting in the deaths of over 150 million people. Since then, these quakes have been plaguing the world intermittently, albeit on a lighter scale. Shido Itsuka is a seemingly average high school student who lives with his younger sister, Katori. When an imminent spatial quake threatens the safety of Tengu City, he rushes to save her, only to be caught in the resulting eruption. He discovers a mysterious girl at its source, who is revealed to be a spirit, an otherworldly entity whose appearance triggers a spatial quake. Soon after, he becomes embroiled in a skirmish between the girl and the anti-spirit team, a ruthless strike force with the goal of annihilating spirits. However, there is a third party that believes in saving the spirits, Ratatoskr, which surprisingly is commanded by Shido's little sister. Katori forcibly recruits Shido after the clash, presenting to him an alternative method of dealing with the danger posed by the spirits, make them fall in love with him. Now, the fate of the world rests on his dating prowess, as he seeks out spirits in order to charm them. Ryuji Takasu is a gentle high school student with a love for housework, but in contrast to his kind nature, he has an intimidating face that often gets him labeled as a delinquent. On the other hand is Taiga Asaka, a small, doll-like student who is anything but a cute and fragile girl. Equipped with a wooden katana and feisty personality, Taiga is known throughout the school as the Pom-Top Tiger. One day, an embarrassing mistake causes the two students to cross paths. Ryuji discovers that Taiga actually has a sweet side. She has a crush on the popular vice president, Yusaku Kitamura, who happens to be his best friend. But things only get crazier when Ryuji reveals that he has a crush on Minori Kushiida, Taiga's best friend. Toradora is a romantic comedy that follows this odd duo as they embark on a quest to help each other with their respective crushes, forming an unlikely alliance in the process. "15 years have passed since the war between humans and demons began. Dissatisfied with their slow advance into the demon realm, the hero abandons his companions to quickly forge ahead towards the Demon Queen's castle. Upon his arrival at the royal abode, the hero makes a startling discovery. Not only is the Demon Queen a woman of unparalleled beauty, but she also seeks the hero's help. Confused by this unexpected turn of events, the hero refuses to ally himself with his enemy, claiming that the war the demons have waged is tearing the southern nations apart. However, the Demon Queen rebuts, arguing that the war has not only united humanity, but has also brought them wealth and prosperity, providing evidence to support her claims. Furthermore, she explains that if the war were to end, the supplies sent by the central nations in aid to the southern nations would cease, leaving hundreds of thousands to starve. Fortunately, she offers the hero a way to end the war, while bringing hope not only to the southern nations, but also to the rest of the world, though she will need his assistance to make this a reality. Finally convinced, the hero agrees to join his now former enemy in her quest. Vowing to stay together through sickness and health, they set off for the human world.